So this is a video from 2015 of us setting up our grid. Unfortunately, at the very beginning, we didn't have the camera position quite right, but you can see Matt's holding and occasionally flipping one of the support pieces. That's because I'm over there putting it together and putting in some of the support straps. So now we put the support straps on the top. We're getting ready to kind of lift it in place. You can see that tying a rope around it, pulling it through a pulley, so when we let it loose, gets disconnected quite easily. Now we're hoisting it into place. It's a little bit of a challenge because there's a big bush in the way, and now we're putting it right where it goes, and you can see that Mary's holding it in place as we try to get it positioned just correctly. She's turning it a little bit to make sure that it's facing the right direction, and now you can kind of see we got a level in the back because it does need to be quite parallel, straight up and straight down, otherwise it doesn't fit correctly. Putting in the first support that goes all the way to the top there, that's some aircraft cable that's going all the way to the top. There's two on each side, one that connects in the middle and one that connects at the very, very top. So now you can see we're going over there. Matt just brought over a big old auger. We're putting the auger into the ground and then put the strap in place. And now with the ladder, one of the tightening points for this is right in the middle. So tightening it all up, and then to make sure that it doesn't back out, we put some cable ties in place so that things can't turn anymore. Now we're putting down the short one on the right hand side and doing the exact same thing to strap it to the ground. Now Mary's checking for level. Everything kind of looks good, so we are going to consider that one all ready to go. I'm just putting in the last support beam on the side before we let loose and from the top here. All right, now I'm untying the support strap that was up there and kind of pulling it away and pulling it out. And now you can see I'm going up with a whole nother rope. This is a rope that pulls into the back to make sure that it can't fall forward. So I untied the strap that was under the front. Now I have this much longer rope that's going back. I'm tying a weight to the end of it and I'm spinning it around and I'm throwing it way into our backyard back there. And then in the back there are also some anchors into the ground that everything gets tied into. That way it can't fall forward at all. And you can't quite see us going back there to put the anchors in and tying it in, but that's what we're doing. Now it's time for the other side. So here we got a little bit better video. You can see that each of these is a 10-foot section. So what we're doing is we're having to kind of connect it together into two and putting the straps in the middle first. Done it at the top as well. So now getting ready and doing the exact same thing to get ready to hoist it into place. As we're hoisting it into place, you can we're going to have a little bit of fun here because as we go to lower it into position, I'm right now realizing that the ground isn't quite level. So I went in and dug out a little hole there and thought it was good. Went to go put it into place and said, oh, nope, this still isn't quite right. So I had Mary hold it out of the way a little bit, level the ground out even more, make sure everything is correct. Now we're putting in the big support on the side that goes all the way to the top. And then the other one going over to the left. Again, just putting in some big 16-inch anchors into the ground and then tightening the support straps up while Mary makes sure everything is completely level. So it looks like it's in a pretty good position here. So we'll put in the lower two support straps, a little bit harder to see because of the bushes and because of the lift being in the way. Mary's continuing to just kind of hold it in place. All right, so now we've got the level down, so everything's in place. You'll see Matt coming out and bringing out some big weights that we put on top just to make sure that things don't get pulled out of the ground during a super heavy wind. So they'll sit right on top of the augers. So now we're going to do the exact same thing and secure it to the back. So going up again with another rope here, uh, tying it up, and oops, I realized I just forgot the big old weight that goes to the end of the rope, so I had to go down and get that weight again. Now we should be good. Just securing everything, make sure it's all tied correctly. And then we're going to go up and spin it around and throw it so it goes in the backyard. There we go. And then we'll go here and go and secure it to the back. We'll skip that. And now you can see that what we need to do is we're going to actually reposition the lift one more time because there's a support beam that goes across the top to keep it from, because all the weight's kind of in the middle. There's a big pole that goes across to make sure that they can't compress inward. And so there's two big brackets that need to be installed, plus the pole itself. Plus, we also have some straps that come down in the front to make sure as the wind comes directly at the house, it doesn't push the grid into the house. And here, before we put all that in place, you can see I have a really big set of ropes. These are the actual ropes that hold the grid in place. So that's a pulley system with, you can see there's like, it looks like it's four ropes because it all goes through different pulleys in a compound pulley system. And putting it over on this side and bringing it down. Now we can use the pulleys in order to hoist the grid directly, but that's a lot of work. So we will end up using the lift. Um, Now Matt and I are over here assembling the big pole that goes across the top to make sure that when the grid is hanging there, that the poles don't push inwards and from the side and try to collapse. So just trying to get this in place. It's a little bit tricky in order to get the braces in place and measuring everything out, making sure I got everything spaced at the right position and putting the clamps in place, which is a little bit hard to see. And then, of course, realizing that I dropped one of the nuts there, so I couldn't tighten it. So went down with the pole to go get that. And positioning it, get everything back in exactly right so we can tighten it in. And there we go. So that pole is basically there to kind of keep it from compressing inward on itself. So now we're putting in the steel cable on this side that pulls forward. And we're also hooking the one on this side that will come out. You kind of see me stretching it out there to make sure it's out of the way. And then we'll secure those to the ground after we get the lift out. So here we are the next day. We did a few more things that day, but now what we need to do is to actually get the grid assembled. So we had a couple of extra pieces that were for the tunnel, which we took away. So now we're laying it all out, trying to get it as flat as we can, and then we're going to have to secure it to that big pole that, or the top that Matt and I just brought in. And so this part we're actually going to speed up even faster. So Mary now is actually going to cable tie the grid directly to that pole. So the number of cable ties that we're talking here, there are about 400 cable ties that have to be installed in order to hold that grid to that pole. The grid itself is about 150 pounds with wires and lights and everything on top of it, which is why there's so why it takes so many cable ties. The cable ties that we use are very high grade cable ties, and we use a lot of them just to make sure we don't have any problems. Believe it or not, just to secure the grid to the top, those cable ties cost us just about $100 that we're using here to kind of secure it. Now, I sped this up quite a bit, uh, and it actually takes about 3 hours for Mary to cable tie everything together. At the same time, Matt and I were over putting some things on the roof and getting some of the outline in place over there while she was cable tying all this together. You can see she's got a box for trash. She loves taking her shoe off because her foot doesn't cramp up nearly as easily as she's leaning across. So it's quite an ordeal to do over those 3 hours. So now we're slowed it back down a little bit. And now we're ready to actually move it into place. So you can see that the lights are the big items are above the garage already. So now we're going to push the grid right, or sorry, push the lift right into place. It should go exactly in the middle where the door is, and it's just off just a little bit, and we didn't catch it. But luckily, it's not too bad. So we're going to slide it over. Now I'm strapping this in, and we're going to pause right here. And you can see what everyone's doing is they're going through and they're looking for loose pixels that have fallen out. So with all the folding and moving and everything else, sometimes the pixels fall out of the grid. It's easier to fix them before we get up there, but you'll see when we plugged in, we missed a lot. So now we're kind of hoisting in position. We putting the pulley system on one side and the other here. Now again, we could pull straight up with the pulley system, but it's far easier to use the lift. Matt's sides keeps jamming a little bit, so we're using the stick to kind of unjam the pulley that's there. And now we've kind of got it in place. We can see that it's was all by itself. I've lowered it down a little bit to make sure that it's level. And now we're using the stick in order to take those straps off of the lift so we can pull the lift away. We're just double checking to make sure that everything looks good. Matt's bringing in the power boxes, so you can see those black and yellow boxes that he brought in. Those have the controllers and everything in them, and we'll be hooking those up here in just a second. We're now bringing in some power cable. So there's a power that powers half the grid on the right side that we just rolled in, and then we rolled in another one over to the left side. Now I'm behind. You can't really see very well because the lift's in the way, but we're plugging in all of the power on the right-hand side of the grid into that black and yellow box. So you come over to this side, you can see right there, there's that black and yellow box. We're going to slide that box over, pull the lid off, and again start plugging in everything on this side. There's about 20 different plugs that's coming down from that big black cable that's there, and everything has to be plugged into the exact right port. Um, Now we should have everything kind of plugged in. The cables are all run, but they're not actually in the house. So we're going to go, at the moment, I'm going into the basement real quick while Matt's off to the side. He's feeding me down all the wires that kind of came down into the basement so we can get power and network to the grid. And there's Matt, he's all done. I'm going to come over, turn things on, and we do kind of our first check. And it looks like everything's working. You can see that not only is the grid all powered up, but also the elements above the garage are turning on and flashing because they share the same controller. And of course, you see all those little black spots in the grid. Well, those are pixels that are out, so we'll have to fix those later. Now what I'm doing is in order to keep this effect, we need to have it really straight across the top. So what I'm doing is I'm using bungee cord in order to pull the grid off to each of the side poles so that it gives it a really nice taut, straight appearance, which is what allows everything to look correct. So I first go from side to side, just kind of putting in certain bungees. I do it kind of a third, a third, a third. And now that we're putting down the last third down on this side, we'll be able to go to the other side and put in the bungees on that side as well. Probably, I guess before I switch sides, you can also see right here that I am taking that black cable that we had, or wire, and cable tying it to the poles to make it so it doesn't blow around in the wind. So now we're over here putting in the bungees to the side just to secure everything and make it really taut and start, and then we'll also secure the wire on this side. Now we won't make you watch the whole thing because now the next hour or so what I'll be doing is going through and pushing on every single bulb on the grid in order to make sure it's in, and fixing the ones that are missing, but also make sure that when the wind goes against it, it doesn't fall out.